welcome to our channel Knowledge of Friends. Subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon for the latest update. Today we're going to start with your chemistry for class 12th, and that is your class 27 here. We had done your class 26 before in the last classes. We will be here discuss about unit 1, unit 2, unit 3, unit 4, unit 5, unit 6, unit 7, even the unit 8, and we have to start with unit 9, which is your coordination compound. But after completing unit 8, we had left for the questions that we have to discuss in terms of unit 8. There are some of the questions there, about 20 to 30 questions that we have to discuss. After discussing that, we'll start shortly discussing about unit 9, which is a coordination compound. But before starting with this, it's a huge request from my side to all the viewers to please go through the subscribe button and please like, share and subscribe to our channel, so that many and maximum people can get the information at once, and even though you can also enjoy the video as well. We'll go ahead for the same, and that is also an important one. In terms of it, the question that we have to discuss about in unit 8 is the first question of the that write down the electronic configuration of CR3 plus and Cu plus and CO2 plus and Mn2 plus, and your that is PM3 plus here, that we have Ce4 plus, Lu2 plus and Th4 plus as well. Then another question is, why are Mn2 plus compounds more stable than Fe2 plus towards oxidation to their plus 3 state? Third question, explain briefly how plus 2 state becomes more and more stable in the first half of the first row transition element with increasing atomic number. The fourth is that to what extent do the electronic configuration decide the stability of oxidation state in the first series of the transition element? Illustrate your answer with examples. The fifth question is, what may be the stable oxidation state of the transition element with the following of electron configuration in the ground state of their atom, which is 3d3, 3d5, 3d8 and 3d4 here. On the same case, the sixth question, we have named the oxometal anions of the first series of the transition metals in which the metal exhibits the oxidation state equal to its group number. Then we have your seventh question, what is lanthanoid's contraction? What are the consequences of lanthanoid contraction? Eighth question, what are the characteristics of the transition element and why are they called a transition element? Which of the d block element may not be regarded as a transition element? The ninth question is, in what way in the electronic configuration of the transition element different from that of the non-transition element? The 10th question is, what are the different oxidation state exhibited by the lanthanoids? 11th question, explain giving reason. The first, that transition metals and many of their compounds show paramagnetic behavior. Second is that enthalpies of atomization of the transition metal are high. Third is that transition metals generally form colored compounds. The fourth is transition metals and their many compounds act as good catalysts as well. The 12th question, what are interstitial compounds? Why are such compounds well known for transition metal? 13th question, how is the variability in oxidation state of the transition metal different from that of the non-transition metal? Illustrate with examples. Another is to describe the preparations of potassium dichromate from iron chromate ore. What are the effects of increasing pH on the solutions of potassium dichromate? Another is the 15th question, describe the oxidizing actions of potassium dichromate and write the ionic equation for its reaction with iodide and iron second solution and H2S as well. Another question we have is your 16th question, that is being your which is to describe the preparations of potassium permanganate. How does the acidified permanganate solution react with the iron second ions and SO2 and oxalic acid? Write the ionic equation for the reaction. Another question for M2 plus and M3 plus M2 plus systems, that the E values for some metals are known. For that, Cr2 plus Cr is minus 0.9 volts, Cr that is your 3, and Cr2 plus is minus 0.4. Mn2 plus by M, that is minus 1.2 volt. Mn3 plus that is by Mn2 plus is plus 1.5 volt. And then Fe2 plus by Fe is minus 0.4, Fe3 plus Fe2 plus, that is my plus 0.8. Use this data to comment upon that the stability of Fe3 plus in acidic solutions are compared to that of Cr3 plus or Mn3 plus. Next is the ease of with which that the iron can be oxidized as compared to the similar process for either chromium and or manganese metals here. The question: predict which of the following will be colored in aqueous solution: Ti3 plus, V3 plus, Cu plus, Sc3 plus, Mn2 plus, Fe3 plus, SiO2 minus. Give reason for each. 19th question: compare the stability of plus 2 oxidation state for the element of the first transition series. 20th question: compare the chemistry of actinoids with that of lanthanoids with a spatial reference to in terms of electronic configuration, oxidation state, atomic and ionic sizes, chemical reactivity. Another is the 21st question: how would you account for the following? Like, of the D4 species, Cr2 plus is strongly reducing while manganese 3 is strongly oxidizing. And where cobalt second is stable in aqueous solution, but in presence of complexing reagent it is easily oxidized. And the D1 configuration is very unstable in ions as well. 22nd question: what is meant by disproportionation, and give two examples of disproportionation reactions in aqueous solution. 23rd question: which metal in the first series of transition metal exhibits plus 1 oxidation state most frequently, and why? 24th question: calculate the numbers of unpaired electrons in the following gaseous ion: Mn3 plus, Cr3 plus, V3 plus, and Ti3 plus. Which one of these is the most stable in aqueous solution? 25th question: give examples and suggest reason for the following features of the transition metal chemistry. That is, the lowest oxide of transition metal is basic and the highest is amphoteric acidic. A transition metal exhibits highest oxidation state in oxides and fluorides. The highest oxidation state is exhibited in oxidations of metal as well. 26th question: indicate the steps in the preparations of C2Cr2O7 for chromite ore and KMnO4 for pyrrhotite ore as well. 27th question: what are alloys? And name an important alloy which contains some of the lanthanoid metal mentioned at uses. 28th question: what are the inner transition element? Decide which of the following atomic numbers are the atomic number of the inner transition element, which is 29, 59, 74, 95, 102, 104 as well. 29th question of the sessions we have is the chemistry of the actinoid element is not so smooth as that of the lanthanoid, and justify this statement by giving some examples from the oxidation state of these elements. 30th question, which is the last element in the series of the actinoids, write the electronic configuration of that electron here element that comment on the possible oxidation state of this element as well. We'll talk about the another question that has been is your, which is use Hund's rule to derive the electronic configuration of Ce3 plus ions and calculate its magnetic moment on the basis of the spin only formula. The another question is name the members on the lanthanoid series which exhibit class 4 oxidation state and those who exhibit class 2 oxidation state. Try to correlate this type of a behavior with electronic configuration of these elements as well. Next question is to compare the chemistry of the actinoids with that of the lanthanoid with reference to, and that is your electronic configuration, oxidation state, and chemical reactivity. 34th question, write the electronic configuration of the element with the atomic number, that is 61, 91, 101, and 109. 35th question, compare the general characteristics of the first series of the transition metals with those of the second and the third series metals in the respective vertical column, and give special emphasis on the following points. The first is the electronic configuration, oxidation state, ionization enthalpies, and of course the atomic sizes. Another is write down the numbers of 3D electron in each of the following ions, which is Ti2 plus, B2 plus, Cr3 plus, Mn2 plus, Fe2 plus, Fe3 plus, CO2 plus, Ni2 plus, and Cu2 plus. Indicate how would you expect the 5 3D orbital to be occupied for these hydrated ions, which is octahedral. Another question coming on the statement that elements of the first transition series possesses many properties different from those of the heavier transition element. Another is what can be inferred from the magnetic moment values of the following complex, like K4Mn or CN6 is 2.2, the magnetic moment is FeH2O6 2 plus, that we have 5.3, and K2MnCl4 is 5.9 here. Now we'll discuss, as I told you here, this has been your unit 9, and that has been the coordination compound. In terms of coordination compound, that are the backbone of the modern inorganic and bio-inorganic chemistry and chemical industry as well. In the previous unit, we learned that the transition metals form a large number of complex compound in which the metal atom are bound to the number of anion or neutral molecule. In modern terminology, such compounds are called coordination compound. The chemistry of the coordination compound is an important and challenging area of the modern inorganic chemistry. New concept of chemical bonding and molecular structure have provided insight into the functioning of vital components of biological system, where chlorophyll, hemoglobin, and vitamin B12 are the coordination compound of magnesium, iron, and cobalt respectively. Variety of metallurgical process, industrial catalyst, and analytical reagent involve the use of the coordination compound. Coordination compound also find many application in electroplating, textiles, dyeing, and medical chemistry as well. Now we'll discuss about the Werner's theory of coordination compound here. Theory of Werner's theory of coordination compound here. In this, that Alfred Werner, who has been invented, Alfred Werner, this has been in 1866 to 1919. A Swiss chemist was the first to formulate his ideas about the structures of coordination compound. He prepared and characterized a large numbers of coordination compound and studied their physical and chemical behavior by simple experimental techniques, where Werner proposed the concepts of primary valence and secondary valence for the metal ion. Binary compounds such as CrCl3, CoCl2, or PdCl3 have a primary valence of 3, 2, and 2 respectively. In the series of the compound of cobalt 3 chloride with ammonia, it was found that some of the chloride ions could be precipitated as AgCl on adding excess silver nitrate solution in coal, but some remained in solutions here. On the same cases for the reaction, where we have 1 mole COCl3.6NH3, which is yellow, that gave 3 mole AgCl. Another we have is your 1 mole COCl3.5NH3, which is in purple, gave 2 mole AgCl. Another is your 1 mole COCl3.4NH3, which is in green, that gave 1 mole AgCl, 1 mole COCl, 3.4 NH3, which is in violet, that gave 1 mole AgCl here. So these observations together with the results of conductivity measurements in solution that can be explained if six groups in all, either that chloride ions or ammonium molecules are both that remain bonded to the cobalt ion during the reactions, and the second that the compound and the formulated that been here. So where the atoms with the square brackets that forms a single entity which does not dissociate under the reaction conditions, where Werner's proposed the term secondary valence for the numbers of group bound directly to the metal ions. In each of these examples of the secondary valences are a 6 here. Now we'll discuss about the formations of cobalt 3 chloride ammonium complexes here, that we'll have to discuss here in the detail, and which is also an important one with reference towards it, and that is we have to discuss. So we'll go ahead for the same, that is we'll discuss about the color formula and solution conductivity corresponding towards it. So we'll go ahead for the same as well. We'll discuss about formulation of cobalt 3 chloride ammonia complexes, that we have to discuss here. So here we discuss about color formula. This is solution conductivity corresponds to, that we have so the first color we have for yellow, then we have purple, green and violet. Now for the same we have to fill out for the yellow here, that has been the formula for the same is CO NH3 O6 3 plus 3 Cl minus, and the solution's conductivity corresponding to 1:3 electrolyte. For the purple it is COCl NH3 whole 5 2 plus 2 Cl minus. This is 1:2 electrolyte. Third is your green here, which is COCl2 NH3 4 whole plus Cl minus. This is 1:1 electrolyte. Another is violet, COCl2 NH3 4 plus Cl minus, 1:1 electrolyte here. You have to note that the last two compounds in this that have an identical empirical formula, where COCl3.4NH3 but distinct properties. Such compounds are termed as isomers. Werner's in 1898 that propounded his theory of coordination compound, and the main postulates are: the first is, in coordination compound, metals shows two types of linkage. valence, primary and secondary. The primary valences are normally ionizable and are satisfied by negative ions. The secondary valences are non-ionizable. These are satisfied by neutral molecules or negative ions. The secondary valence is equals to the continuation number and is fixed for a metal. Another is the ion or the group bound by the secondary linkage to the metal that have characteristics of spatial arrangement corresponding to the different coordination number as well. In the same cases, we talk about it that in a modern formulations, such spatial arrangements are called coordination polyhedra. The species within the square bracket set are coordination entities are complexes, and the ions outside the square bracket are called counter ions. He further postulated that octahedral and tetrahedral and square planar geometrical shapes are more common in coordination compound of transitions metal. Thus, CONH3 holds 6 3 plus, COCl NH3 5 2 plus, and COCl2 NH3 4 are octahedral entities, while NiCO4 and PtCl4 2 minus are the tetrahedral and square planar respectively here. Now we'll go ahead for the question that we have to solve here, which is the questions we have, and that has been the first question of this unit 9 we have, and for the same we'll have to do it. Let's go ahead for the question, and just the questions we have here is: on the basis of the following observation, you have to made with an aqueous solution assign secondary valences to the metals in the following compound. So the formula we have here, and this has been your moles of AgCl precipitated per mole of the compound with excess of AgNO3. Okay, this we have. For the first formula we have here is PdCl2.4NH3. Second formula we have NiCl2.6H2O. Third formula is PtCl4.2HCl. Fourth is COCl3.4NH3, and the fifth is PtCl2.2NH3. This has been here. So the moles of AgCl that precipitated per mole the compound with excess AgNO3, which is you have is 22010 here. Okay, for the same that has been representing. So first we will be finding it out for them. That is to be as follows. We'll go ahead, and for the same we'll have to find out the answer for the same, and that has been the important one. For the first PdCl2.4NH3 that we have, the first we have is your secondary 4. For the second, that is NiCl2.6H2O, is for that we have secondary 6. The third, for the third one we have is your PtCl4.2HCl, and that we have for the same is secondary 6. For the fourth one, which is your COCl3 4NH3, is for that which we have is secondary 6, and the last fifth we have PTCl2 dot 2NH3, which we have is the fifth one is secondary 4. So here we'll discuss about the difference between a double salt and a complex here. That is also an important one. Difference between a double salt and a complex. In this, where both double salt as well as complexes are formed by the combination of two or more stable compounds in stoichiometric ratio. However, they are differ in the fact that double salts such as carnallite KCl.MgCl2.H2O, where Mohs salt and FeSO2 that SO4.NH4 twice SO4.6H2O, which is potash alum, that is KClSO4 twice dot 12H2O, etc., that dissociate into a simple ions completely when dissolved in water. And however, the complex ions such as FeCN6 of CrF, that is C4FeCN6, do not dissociate into Fe2 plus and Cn minus ions here. If I'm talking about Warner's, that is in 1866 to 1919, where Warner's was born on December 12, 1866 in Mulhouse, a small community in the French provinces of Alsace, and his study of chemistry began in Karlsruhe, that is Germany, and continued in Zurich, that is Switzerland, where is a doctoral thesis in 1990. He explained the difference in properties of certain nitrogen-containing organic substance or on the basis of isomerism. He extended Van 't Hoff theory of the tetrahedral carbon atom and modified it for nitrogen, where Warner showed optical and electrical differences between a complex compound based on physical measurement. In fact, the Warnest was the first to discover the optical activity in a certain coordination compound. He, at the age of 29 years, became a full professor at Technische Hochschule in Zurich in 1895. Alfred Warner was a chemist and educationist. His accomplishments included the development of the theory of coordination compound. This theory, in which the Warnist proposed the revolutionary ideas that about how atoms and molecules are linked together, was formulated in a span of only 3 years, from 1890 to 1893. The remainder of his career was spent gathering the experimental support required to validate his new ideas, where Warner becomes the first Swiss chemist to win the Nobel Prize in 1913 for his work on the linkage of atoms and the coordination theory here. So for the same cases that we go ahead here in the detail, we'll discuss about the definition of some important terms pertaining to the coordination compound that we have to discuss here, and that has been also important for the same. We'll go ahead for the same. Definition of some important terms pertaining to coordination compound that we have to discuss here. In the same cases, the first we'll talk about here, that is the coordination entity. In terms of coordination entity, we go ahead. So here in this, a coordination entity that constitutes a central metal atom or non-bonded to a fixed numbers of ions or molecules For example, CuCl3 and H3 whole thrice is a coordination entity in which the cobalt ion is surrounded by 3 ammonia molecules and 3 chloride ions. And other examples are NiCO4, that is a PiCl2 and H3 whole twice, FeCN6 4 minus, and CONH3 whole 6 3 plus that we have. Now another we talk about is your B1, which is your central atom or ion. And this, it's in a coordination entity that the atom and ion to which a fixed numbers of ions groups are bound in a definite geometrical arrangement around it. It is called the central atom or ion. For example, that the central atom and ion in the coordination entities NiCl2 H2O4, COCl and H3 whole 5, that is an FeCN6 3 minus, and Ni2 plus, CO3 plus, and Fe3 plus respectively. These central atoms ions are also referred to as the Lewis acid. We'll talk about the third one, that is ligands. In terms of ligands here, that the ions or molecules bound to the central atom and ion in the coordination entity are called ligands. They may are simple ions such as Cl, small molecules such as H2O and NH3, the larger molecules such as H2N, CH2, CH2NH2, or NCH2, CH2NH2 thrice, or even the macromolecules such as protein here. When a ligand is bounded to a metal ion through a single donor atom, as with Cl, H2O and NH3, the ligand is said to be a unidentate. And then when a ligand that can bind through the two donors atoms, as in H2 NCH2 CH2 NH2, that is your ethane 1,2 diamine, or C2O4 2 minus, which is oxalate, and that the ligand is said to be a didentate. And when several donors atoms are present in the single ligand, as in NCH2 CH2 NH2O thrice, the ligand is seen to be as polydentate. And then ethylene diamine, the tetraacetate ions, which is EDTA, has been said is an important hexadentate ligand. It can be bound through 2 nitrogen and 4 oxygen atoms to a central metal ions. When a di or a polydentate ligand uses its 2 or more donors atoms to bind a single metal ion, it is said to be a that is chelate ligands, and then the numbers of such ligating groups is called a denticity of the ligands, and such complexes calls your chelate complexes here, and that tends to be more stable than the similar complexes that containing the unidentate ligands, for reasons that we have ligands which can ligate through the two different atoms here, that is called as ambidentate ligands, and examples of such ligands are NO2 and CN minus ions, and NO2 ions that can coordinate either through nitrogen or through oxygen to a central metal atom ion. Similarly, SCN ion that can coordinate through the sulfur and nitrogen atom as well. For the same, we have your formula for this. H2Cl, CH2COO minus, CH2COO minus, bonded with C, H2, bonded with N, CH2COO minus, CH2COO minus, that we have. So for the reactions for the same, we have M that tends to N bonded O, double bonded O, and where O bonded N, double bonded O here. This is nitrito O, and this is nitrito N, and where This is your thiocyanatone, NCS. This is isothiocyanate that we have. So now we will be going ahead to discuss about it, which is another one is your coordination number. The coordination number which is Cn, that of a metal ion in a complex that can be defined as the numbers of ligands donor atoms to which the metals is directly bonded. For example, in the complex ion PtCl6 2- and NiH3 4, that the coordination number of Pt and Ni are 6 and 4 respectively. Similarly, in the complex ion FeC2O4 thrice and the COEN thrice, that the coordination number of both Fe and CO is 6 because C2O4 2- and in ethane 1,2 diamine are called ditandate ligands here. It is important to note that here that the coordination number of the central atom ion is determined only by the numbers of sigma bond that formed by the ligands with the central atom ion. The pi bonds and if formed between the ligands and the central atom ion are not counted for this purpose as well. We'll talk about the E1 here. That is another one is your coordination sphere. In terms of coordination sphere, that the central atoms, ions and the ligands that attach to it enclosed in the square bracket and is collectively termed as a coordination sphere, where the ionizable group are written outside the bracket and are called counter ions. For example, in a complex C4FeCN6, the coordination spheres is FeCN6 and the counter ions is K+. Now we'll talk about the coordination polyhedron. F1 is coordination polyhedron. In coordination polyhedron here, the spatial arrangement of the ligands atoms that which are directly attached to the central atom ion that defines the coordination polyhedron about the central atom. The most common coordination polyhedra are octahedral, square, planar and tetrahedral. For example, CONH3O6 3+ is octahedral, NiCO4 is a tetrahedral and PtCl4 2- is a square planar. The shapes of the different coordination polyhedra is been representing here. So here this is being representing M bond L, bond L, this is L, L. Now this is being L, this has been L. Here this has been octahedral. Now we'll talk about another one is L, L, L. This is tetrahedral. This has been here is M, L, L. This has been here square planar. Then again we have here is for M, L, 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 L and L. This is trigonal bipyramidal. This is another one we have M, L, this has been L, L, L. This is been as well L. This is your square pyramidal that we have. So shapes of different coordination polyhedra, where M represents the central atom ion and L is a unidentate ligands here that has been representing. We'll talk about the another one, which is the G1 here. We have to talk about it, and that has been oxidation number of central atoms. Oxidation number of central atom. In this, the oxidation number of the central atom in a complex is defined as the charge it would carry if all the ligands are removed along with the electron pair that are shared with the central atom. The oxidation number is represented by Roman numerals in parentheses following the name of the coordination entity. For example, the oxidation number of a copper is CuCN4 as +1, and it is written as Cu1 here. Second, next is your H1, that is homoleptic and heteroleptic complexes. H1 here, homoleptic and heteroleptic complexes. In this, that complexes in which a metal is bound to only one kind of donor groups, example CONH3 3 plus, that are known for the homoleptic, and complexes in which the metal is bound to more than one kind of donor groups, example CONH3 Cl2, and that are known as heteroleptic here. We'll discuss about another one, that is the nomenclature of coordination compound, that has been also an important one here for the same, that what we have to discuss here. We'll go ahead for the same, and that has been important. So we'll go ahead with discussion about it, that has been the nomenclature of coordination compound. Nomenclature of coordination compound. In terms of nomenclature of coordination compound here, nomenclature is important in coordination chemistry because of the need to have an unambiguous methods of describing the formulas and writing the systematic names, particularly when dealing with isomers, and the formulas and the names adopted for the coordination entities that are based on the recommendations of the International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry, which is IUPAC, that what we are talking about here in the detail. Now we'll go ahead for the same. We have your formulas of mononuclear coordination entity, that for the same we have to talk about it. So we go ahead here. Nomenclature of coordination compounds में first we have your formulas of mononuclear coordination entities. In this, the formula of compound is a shorthand tool used to provide a basic information about the constitutions of the compound in a concise and a convenient manner. Mononuclear coordination entities contain a single central metal atom. That the following rules are applied while writing the formula here. The first is that the central atom is listed first. The ligands are then listed in the alphabetical order. The placements of the ligands in the list does not depend on its charge. Polydentate ligands are also listed alphabetically. In the case of the abbreviated ligands, the first letter of the abbreviations is used to determine the positions of ligands in the alphabetical order. The formulas of the entire coordination entity, whether the charge or not, is enclosed in square brackets. When ligands are polyatomic, their formulas are enclosed in the parentheses. Ligands abbreviations are also enclosed in parentheses. The fifth is there should be no space between the ligands and the metals within the coordination sphere. The sixth is when the formulas of the charge coordination entity is to be written without that of the counter's ion. The charge is indicated outside the square bracket as the right subscript with the number before the sign. For example, COCN6 3 minus and Cr here that we have, which has been your Cr H2O6 2 3 plus etc. And the next seventh we have for the formula of mononuclear coordinations entities, we have that the charge of the cations is balanced by the charge of the anions as well. Now we'll discuss about the second here in the detail here for the second topic that we have to discuss as well. In this formulas of the mononuclear coordination entities, you have to note that the 2004 IUPAC drafts recommends that the ligands with the shorted alphabetically irrespective of charge. Now we'll go ahead for the second category. This is naming of mononuclear coordination compounds. In this, that the names of the coordination compounds are derived by the following: the principles of additive nomenclature, thus the groups of the surrounded and the central atom must be identified in the name. They are listed as prefixes to the name of the central atom along with the appropriate multipliers. The following rules are used when naming coordination compound is being placed. Wherefore, the first, that the cation is named first in both positively and negatively charged coordination entities, where the ligands are named in the alphabetical order because the name of the central atoms and ions. This procedure is reverse for writing formula. Names in the atomic ligands end in that is your that those of the neutral and the cationic ligands are the same except the aqua for H2O, amine that is for NH3, and carbonyl for CO, and nitrosyl for NO. They are the placed within the enclosed bracket we have. And prefixes mono, di, tri, etc. that are used to indicate the number of individual ligands for the coordination entity. When the names of the ligands include a numerical prefix, then the terms bis, tris, and tetrakes are used, and the ligands to which they are preferred being placed on parentheses. For example, NiCl2PPH3 whole twice is named as dichlorobis triphenyl phosphine nickel second here. Another, we have the oxidation state of the metal and cation, anion or neutral coordination entity is indicated by a Roman numeral in parentheses. In a complex ion, is a cation, the metal is named same as element. For example, CO in a complex cation is called cobalt, and Pt is called platinum. If the complex ion in an ion, the name of the metals ends with the suffix 8. For example, CO is a complex anion which is CO CN4 is called cobaltate. For some metal, the Latin names are used in the complex anion. Example, ferrate for Fe. You have to know that in 2004 IUPAC draft recommend that anionic ligands will end with IDO so that the chloro would become chlorido, etc. Where the neutral complexes of molecule is named similar to that of the complex cation, where the following example will illustrate the nomenclature for the coordination compound. So first we'll talk about the first one. The first we have is Cr NH3 whole thrice H2O whole thrice Cl3, that is named as what it names as. This is being named as tri, that is amine tri aquachromium third chloride. Just I write it down the name and then I will explain why it is so. Tri amine tri aqua chloro third chloride that we have. So the explanation for this, that the complex ion is inside the square bracket, which is cation, and the amine ligands are named before the aqua ligands according to the alphabetical order. Since there are three chloride ions in the compound, and the charge on the complex ion must be +3, since the compound of electrically neutral, and from the charge on the complex ion and the charge on the ligands, we can calculate the oxidation number of the metal. In this example, all the ligands are neutral molecule, therefore the oxidation number of the chromium must be the same as charge of the complex ion +3 here. We'll talk about the second category, the second example we can say that, which is CO H2N CH2 CH2 NH2 3 2 SO4 3 is named as. So the name for this particular one is trisethane 1,2 diamine cobalt third sulfate. Trisethane 1,2 diamine cobalt third sulfate. Here for the explanation, that the sulfate in the counter ions is the molecule, since it takes 3 sulfate to bond with 2 complex cations. The charge on each complex cation must be +3. Further, ethane 1,2 diamine is a neutral molecule, so that the oxidation number of the cobalt in a complex ion must be +3. Remember that you never have to indicate the number of cations and anions in the name of the ionic compound. The another we take as the another example is we have, which is I just write it down the name, how you have to write it down the name here. AgNH3 whole twice, AgCN twice is named as. So the name we have is your diamine silver's first dicyano that is cyanoargentate 1. The name is diamine silver 1 dicyanoargentate 1. So here for the same we have is about notice how the name of the metals differs in cations and anions, even though they contain the same metal ions here. Now we'll discuss about some of the questions related to it, that we will be naming it out by this. We have to, the formulas, we have to write the formulas for the following coordination compound, and then of course write the IUPAC name for the following coordination compound that we have to do it. So we'll do one by one here for the same. So for the first one you have to do write the formulas for the coordination compounds that we have. For the first we have, the name is tetraamine aqua chlorido cobalt third chloride. Second we have potassium tetrahydroxydoxingate second. Third we have potassium tri oxalato aluminate. Third, di chloridobenzene 1,2 di amine cobalt 3, and the E1 we have tetracarbonyl nickel. Oh, we'll go ahead for the formula for the following coordinations compound here. For the first one we have CO NH3 whole 4 H2O ClCl2. Second we have for the same C2 ZnOH4. Third one we have K3Al C2O4 thrice. Next is COCl2 En twice plus. Another we have NiCO4 we have. Now we'll go ahead with another question that we have to talk about it, which is the another one here, that is write the IUPAC name of the following coordination compound. Write the IUPAC names of the following coordination compounds. So the first we have here PT NH3 4 twice ClNO2. For the B here K2 ZnOH4. Another is K3 AlC2O4 thrice. The D1 is CO NH35 CO3 Cl. And the fifth we have is HgCO. So we have your Hg, that is we have, and that is we have HgCO SCN whole 4. So we'll have to name it out here for each. That is we have diamine chloro or nitro N platinum second, diamino chlorido nitrito N platinum second, which is potassium trioxalato chromate. Third, so next is your dichlorido bis ethane 1,2 diamine cobalt 3 chloride This is penta amine, carbonato cobalt, third chloride. This is mercury tetrathiocyanato cobaltate. Third, yeah, that we have for line, that even though we have to discuss about it, we'll go ahead for the another one we'll have to find out, and that has been the another question I will be giving you for the homework, that you can go ahead for the same, and that has been even more important for it. So we'll go ahead, and as I told you, been discussing here is what we have to discuss here, and is all about that we have to discuss. So it will be your that we discuss about the questions that I will tell you is write the formulas of the following coordination compound, which is about the tetra amino diaqua cobalt third chloride, potassium tetracyanide, that is cyanidonickelnate, and the second, and then we have your tricythane 1,2 diamine chromium third chloride, and then another we have is your amine chromido chlorido nitro and platinate second. Another we have dichlorido bus ethane 1,2 that diamine of platinum 4 nitrate, and iron third hexacido ferrate second here that we have here. So we will be going ahead to discuss another one. So for the same we have to talk about it, and that has been, as I told you here, that is the that chrombuses ethane 1,2 diamine platinum 4 nitrate, and then another is iron third hexacyanide ferrate here, that is second, that what we have to talk about it. On the same cases, then the question is then that is you write the IUPAC name of the following coordination compound, which is CONH 36 whole 6 Cl3 CONH3 of that is your whole 5 Cl and Cl2, K3 FeCN6 here, which is K3 FeC2O4 whole thrice, and C2PdCl4, and then we have a PTNH3Cl, NH2 and CH3Cl as well. On the same cases, there are many more that what we have to talk about it, even though which is important here. So if I'm going to tell you about that, we will be ending it up here only, and we'll discuss more over related topics that we have to cover up in the next coming classes as well. That has been important, but on the same cases I can say you about that what we have to discuss here is in terms of it, that has been we will start with isomerism in the coordination compound, where we have to discuss many more isomerism in the coordination compound that is related to the stoichiomerism and structural isomerisms as well, and that what we have to here we will have to discuss only. And on the same cases with a reference towards it, that what we have to discuss as well. And that is we will be having many more questions in terms of it here. So we'll go ahead with another one, that what we have to discuss here. Other than that of chemistry, if I'm going ahead, yes, we had done your sociology and software engineering, where we had completed your reasoning here as well. We are dealing with, which is in reasoning we had completed your verbal reasoning, which is general mental ability, and the logic reasoning. And in terms of the non-verbal reasoning, where we had completed series, analogy, classification, analytical reasoning, mirror image, water image, embedded figure, completions of incomplete pattern, figure matrix, and paper folding, paper cutting, rule detection we had done, grouping of identical figures as well we had done. Other than that, coming towards quantitative aptitude, we had done your the arithmetical ability, where we had done operations on numbers, LCM and SCM of numbers, decimal fractions, simplification, square roots and cube roots, averages, and then we had done problems on numbers, problems on ages as well. After that, we have to deal with that is we are dealing with the chemistry of class 12, that has been important, which is the solid state, where we had completed the general characteristics of solid state, amorphous and crystalline solid, classification of crystalline solid, crystal atoms and unit cells, numbers of atoms in unit cell, closed pack structures, packing efficiency, calculation involving unit cell dimensions, imperfections in solid, electrical properties and magnetic properties, types of solution expressing the concentrations of solution, solubility, vapor pressures of liquid solutions, ideal and non-ideal solution, colligative property of determinations of molar masses, abnormal molar masses as well. In unit 3, which is electrochemistry, we have to cover up the electrochemical cells, galvanic cells, Nernst equation, conductors of electrolytic solution, electrolytic cells and electrolysis, batteries, fuel cells and corrosions as well. In unit 4, we have to cover up the chemical kinetics, where we had completed rate of chemical reactions, factor influencing the rate of reaction, integrated rate equation, pseudo first order reaction, temperature dependence on the rate of the reaction, collation theory of the chemical reactions as well. The unit 5th is the surface chemistry, where we have to cover up the adsorption, catalyst, colloids, classification of colloids, emulsions, colloids around us. Unit 6 is your general principles and processes of isolations of element, where we have to complete that occurrence of metals, concentrations of ores, extractions of fluid metals from concentrated ore, thermodynamic principles of metallurgy, electrochemical principles of metallurgy, oxidation, reduction, refining, uses of aluminium, copper, zinc and iron. Unit 7, that is the P block, which we have to cover up the P 15 element, dinitrogen, ammonium oxides of nitrogen, nitric acid, phosphorus, allotropic form, phosphine, phosphorus halides, oxo acids of phosphorus, group 16 element, dioxygen. Then we have simple oxides, ozone, sulfur, allotropic form, sulfur dioxide, oxo acids of sulfur, sulfuric acid, group 17 elements, chlorine, hydrogen chloride, oxo acids of halogens, the halogen compound, group 18 element as well. Group unit 8 that we had covered up, that is we have your the D and F block element, where the positions in the periodic table, electronic configuration of the D block element, general properties of transition element D block, some important compounds of transition element, the lanthanoids, the actinoids, some application of D and F block elements as well. In unit 9, we have to cover up the coordination compound, which is we had started with, that is we had covered up oneness theory of coordination compound, definitions of some important terms pertaining to the coordination compound, nomenclature of the competition compound we had started with, and that we have to discuss here, which is the isomerism in the coordination compound we have to cover up, and that is the bonding in the coordination compound, bonding in metal carbolysis, and then we have to start discussing stability of the coordination compound, importance and application of coordination compound as well. So here we'll be ending it up. Before ending it up, we'll surely discuss about the isomerism. So in terms of isomerism, that what we have to cover up here, which has been important as well, and that has been that what we have to cover up here. So we'll just tell you some of the things related to isomerism here, which is important too, and an isomerism in a coordination compound. Isomerism in coordination compounds that we have to discuss here. It's the same cases here for that the isomers are two or more compound that have the same chemical formula but are different arrangements of atoms. Because of the different arrangement of atom, they differs in one or more physical or chemical properties. The two properties of the type of isomerism that are known among the coordination compound, each of which that can be further subdivided. The first we have your stereomerism. The first category we have is your stereoisomerism. In stereoisomerism, this is being divided into two subcategory. We can say that the first is geometrical isomerism, and the second is optical isomerism. The next we have is the structural isomerism. In a structural isomerism, the first we have linkage isomerism, coordination isomerism, ionization isomerism, and solvate isomerism. So the first we have is linkage isomerism. Second is coordination isomerism. Third is ionization isomerism, and the fourth is solvate isomerism. So here for the stereoisomers that have the same chemical formula and chemical bonds, but they have different spatial arrangement. Structural isomers have a different bond, and a detailed account of these isomers are being given here. First we'll discuss about the geometrical isomerism here, that is what in the detailed. Geometrical isomerism here. In geometrical isomerism, we talk about it that this type of an isomerism that arises in a heteroleptic complexes due to the different possible geometric arrangements of the ligands. Important examples of this behavior are found with coordination number, that is your 4 and 6, and in a square planar complex of the formula, which is mx2i2l2, that x and l are the unidendate, and that the two legends x that may be arranged adjacent to each other in a cis isomers are opposite to each other in a trans isomers. And other square planar, that complex of the type MABXL, where ABXL are unidendates, and that shows 3 isomers, 2 cis and 1 trans. You may attempt to draw these structures. Such isomerisms is not possible for a tetrahedral geometry, but similar behavior is possible in octahedral complexes of formula, where mx2 and 4, in which the two legends x may be oriented cis and or trans for each other here. For the same, that is the geometrical isomers cis and trans for PTNH3 to 2Cl2 that we have to find out here, which is being as follows. For the first we have PT NH3 NH3 Cl 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 PT Cl NH3 NH3. This is trans, this is cis, and this is for PT NH3 whole twice Cl2. Okay, cis and trans. For the another one we have here is CO Cl Cl NH3 NH3, and then we have your NH3 NH3 plus, this is for cis. Then we have your CO NH3 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 Cl Cl. This is trans, Here for the geometry HMS for cis and trans, we have for cobalt NH3 whole 4 Cl2 plus. That is for it has been represented here, that been representing with the same. Now we'll go the other square planar complexes, that the types of MaBXL that we had represented here. Now for the same we have to go ahead for the isomers. So moreover in the detail we'll discuss here in the next coming class. So thank you, hope you enjoy this video. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up and give a suggestion on the comment box. Thank you.